Assalamu alaikum everyone. How you doing? Inshallah you're keeping healthy and safe during these times. I miss you all. Today inshallah we're going to be talking about a new topic from the book. It's about fasting in Ramadan. And we're going to start together from page 70. There's a story on page 70, page 68 and 69. If you want to read it, you can. But let's get started. Ramadan. When you think of Ramadan, what comes to your mind? On this page, you'll find different things. For example, it's the month of the Quran. This is one of the main things about Ramadan. Why we have Ramadan? Why we celebrate Ramadan by fasting, and we're basically celebrating the revelation of the Quran. We have Laylatul Qadr in Ramadan. If you worship Allah on that night, it's worth 1,000 months. You worship as if you worship for 1,000 months. It's a month of patience. We have to abstain from food and from drink. We get rewarded extra rewards for our good deeds. We try and help each other more. Taraweeh. This is something, inshallah, we'll talk about more down the line. At the bottom here, the bottom of the page, you'll find it's written, there is mercy in the beginning of Ramadan, forgiveness of sins in the middle, and salvation from hellfire at the end. أوله رحمة وأوسطه مغفرة وآخره عتق من النار. This is a hadith that many people quote, but I just want you guys to know as a side note, the authenticity of the hadith isn't agreed upon by all. Some scholars say that the hadith is not authentic, we shouldn't take it, but it's a very widely spread hadith. So, okay, what is fasting? I'm sure you guys all know this. Fasting basically is that we're not eating, we're not drinking, and there's no relationships between a husband and a wife from dawn or first time till sunset, Maghrib. Allah says in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Yani fasting is obligatory upon us. So who has to fast? Who is it obligatory upon? Any Muslim who is sane. So basically they are in control of their mental facilities, they know what they're doing, they understand right from wrong, they have reached puberty, they have come of age. Puberty can be reached, some people reach puberty when they're 10, some people reach puberty when they're 13, but at least around 15, like pretty much this is the time that everyone, whether there are very obvious signs or not, but this is the time where we should start fasting. Is healthy enough to fast. If someone who is sick or have certain conditions, then they don't have to fast. But other than that, and we'll talk about those conditions in more details. But in general, if they're healthy, they should be fasting. Children, do children have to fast? No, obviously it's not obligation on them, and unless they've reached puberty. But just like children practice praying, they should also practice fasting. This is the practice of the Sahaba. They used to get their children to practice fasting when they started to practice praying. So it's a good thing to get into practice for the younger ones. Okay, there's some terms here related to Ramadan. Intention, niyyah. When and how do we make intention for fasting? So as we know, nothing we do counts unless we have the right niyyah, the right intention. So if we, like for example, if someone is fasting just for health benefits and they're not doing it as a worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will they get rewarded for it? No, they won't. So intention is very important. How do we do the intention? Do we have to say out loud, I intend to fast? No. The thing is, the place for intention is your heart. So you might say with your tongue, but you don't really mean it, so it won't count. And vice versa. If you have the intention in your heart, but you don't say it, then it's accepted. Allah knows what's in our heart. Now, there's a difference between when we're making the intention, between what type of fasting we're doing. So if we're doing the obligatory fast, which is fast in Ramadan, is something that we have to do. The intention for the obligatory fast has to be done from the night before or before Fajr. But if it's an extra fast, a sunnah fast that we choose to do, not obligation, we can do it. We can make it, like, for example, at the time of Prophet sometimes he would wake up and he hadn't intended to fast, but he found that there was no food in his home. So then he decided, okay, I'm just going to fast for the day and take the rewards. So you have time right up until around 45 minutes before Dhuhr prayer to make an intention that you're going to fast that day. So what happens if you don't make the intention? You don't have the intention, and in Ramadan you haven't made the intention to fast, then the fast won't be accepted. We have here a question, what is imsak? Basically, we stop eating and drinking at Fajr time, before Fajr. And like I know some calendars, they have like a special time called imsak, and they make it like half an hour before Fajr time. This isn't really exactly correct. We have right up until the adhan of Fajr to eat and drink. Suhoor, what is suhoor? We all know that suhoor is the meal or the drink or whatever you have just before you start in your fast. Actually, you'll see here on this page, it says you should, I don't know why they say sahur here, because it's suhoor, but anyway, eat at suhoor, since there is abundance and fruitfulness in a suhoor meal. There's barakah in suhoor. So this is, Prophet recommends us that we do take suhoor. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, it would be nice if you could have, like, maybe even if you're not hungry or something, but maybe just a few days or something like that. There's also a question here, do we need to repeat our intention every Ramadan night, or can we fast the entire month of Ramadan with one intention made at the beginning? The answer, they say here that you must make the intention for each and every day, and you can't do it for the whole month. Actually, this isn't correct. Scholars have said, if you, like when you enter Ramadan, if you have made the intention to fast the whole of Ramadan, then inshallah will be accepted. You don't have to make an intention for every single day. And it's obvious from, Allah knows what's in your heart. If you're getting up anyway to make suhoor, it's obvious you made the intention to fast. So we don't have to worry about that, inshallah. What is iftar? We know the iftar time is when we hear the Maghrib adhan, and when the time of Maghrib enters. We should be, Prophet said in the hadith that my ummah will be in a good state as long as they make suhoor as late as possible and iftar as soon as possible. So we shouldn't delay, and when we hear the adhan, we should break our fast straight away. We shouldn't delay it. Iftar is the happiest hour for those who spend the day without food and water for the sake of Allah. In iftar time, we feel the happiness of completing that day's fasting. And actually, if you read on the hadith on the side, there are two happy times for those who fast. One of them is iftar time, and the other is when they join their Lord with the rewards of fasting. So basically, when we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we see on the judgment day the rewards that Allah has given us because of our fasting, this will make us very happy. Actually, we don't know, like Allah has told us the rewards for different types of worship, for praying, for reading Quran. Like, for example, every letter you read, you get a hasana. Allah has told us different rewards for different types of worships, except for fasting. Fasting is so special that we don't know the rewards for. Also, the fasting that we do is not the same for everyone. So, for example, maybe you're in a country and you're fasting just 10 hours a day, and someone else is fasting 20 hours a day. Maybe the weather is really, really, really hot, and someone else, the weather's like okay, and they're not that too bothered, and they're not feeling so thirsty as you are. Or maybe you have to go out and work and do this extra effort, and someone else is at home. So how we fast and what the conditions that we are in will change how much reward we will get as well. Another hadith on fasting, whoever offers an iftar to a person who fasts receives a reward corresponding to that of fasting. Nothing would be taken from those who fast. Basically what it's saying is, if you provide iftar for someone, like you provide food or drink for someone who's fasting, you will get the reward as if you fasted that day as well, without taking away from their reward. So it's it's a highly recommended act. There's a hadith here that we say they wrote Allahumma laka sumtu bika amantu alayka tawakkal, not hadith, actually a dua. Allahumma laka sumtu bika amantu alayka tawakkaltu wa rizqaka aftart وصوم الغد من شهر رمضان نويت فاغفر لي ما قدمت وأخرت. They write this as the dua to say when we break our fast. Actually, this is not the most authentic dua. Sorry about that, guys. The software I'm using only does 10 minutes at a time, so maybe so I just made another video. So yeah, I was saying that dua is not the most authentic dua. The dua I know is ابتلت العروق وذهب الظمأ وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. That's one of the dua. And there's other duas as well that we can say, but this one, no, especially that they're saying in a way to, you're making the intention out loud, like no. وصوم الغد من شهر رمضان نويت فاغفر لي ما قدمت وأخرت. I don't recommend we say that dua, but anyway, let's move on. Fasting holds us. What are they trying to say here? Basically, saying that fasting helps you control yourself. So, is it enough for us to be fasting? Okay, we're not eating, we're not drinking, but we're backbiting, we're lying, we're watching things we shouldn't be watching, we're listening to things we shouldn't be listening to. We're on social media in a way that we shouldn't be. We're talking to someone we shouldn't be talking to. All of these things. What type of fast are we fasting? Obviously, this is not what we should be doing. When we fast, our eyes should be fasting, our tongue should be fasting, our ears should be fasting. All of our body is fasting. It's not just about eating and drinking. There's a hadith where Rasulullah said, whoever does not give up forced speech and evil actions, Allah is not in need of his leaving his food and drink. So basically saying, if you can keep on doing sins and bad things and you're not going to be trying to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there's no need. Your fast doesn't have much value because it's not, Allah has no need in you just not eating and drinking. So this is something to keep in mind. The benefits of fasting. There's many, and we'll try to go through the ones here. Basically, first of all, what is the reason that we fast? First and foremost, regardless of any other benefits we get from fasting, we fast because Allah told us to. It was a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know we've talked about this before in class, but we said, who has the right to tell us, to make the rules, to tell us what to do and what not to do? Who has the right to give us the Sharia? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who created this world and gave us everything we have, gave us the life we have, gave us all our blessings. And He commanded us to fast. So this is, first and foremost, we do it because it's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we want to please Him. And inshallah, when we do so, we will please Him and we will gain His love and rida, contentment. When we stay away from eating and drinking, and we don't, like, it's very easy for you to be fasting in front of people, but then sneak in the fridge when no one's looking and take a snack here or take a mouthful of water here without anyone realizing. So when you're fasting, actually, it really builds inside you sincerity, because you could easily be fasting in front of everyone, but between you and Allah, you're not. So if you're if you're alone and there's no one around and you're still not eating and drinking, so this, you're building sincerity inside you. What you're doing just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm just going to the second paragraph here, saying most of the time we do not realize the importance of things that we have until we lose them. This is very true. Maybe before Ramadan, before fasting, there are a lot of foods that you'll be like, nah, I don't want. Your mom tells you, all right, I've done this for dinner. You're like, nah, I don't want this. Oh, not again. And when you're fasting, you're like, oh, I could eat anything right now. I'm just so hungry, so thirsty. So it makes us appreciate the things that maybe we wouldn't, which is something that we have to fix. We should be in a consistent state of thankfulness for Allah's blessings. One may face some difficulties and hardships in life, yes. In order to handle these, one must be patient. And fasting teaches us to be patient. Now, this is really very relative to what we are all living these days with this virus and all of that. It's hard times, it's difficult times, and we can't get through them without patience. We would lose our minds. We would get desperate and we would start panicking. There are a lot of people in different countries, and especially people who don't have that faith to hold on to, they're really, really panicking in a really bad way. Our faith keeps us steady, and fasting helps us to develop that patience. We're controlling ourselves, we're controlling our desires, we're controlling our feelings and our thirst and our hunger. We're being patient, and alhamdulillah, we're very blessed that at the end of the day we know we're going to eat and drink. Imagine the people who they're in a state of fasting not because they even want to be, and at the end they don't know when their next meal is going to come. They don't have a fridge full of food that they know, okay, sooner or later this is going to be up, I'm going to be able to eat again. So there's something to reflect on. Bad acts such as lying, gossiping, fighting, being unjust to others. I'll read the hadith on the side. Our beloved Prophet says, fasting is a shield or protection from the fire and from committing sins. If one of you is fasting, he should avoid sexual relation with his wife and quarreling. And if somebody should fight or quarrel with him, he should say, I am fasting. So basically, fasting, again, is teaching us to control ourselves. We want to be away from arguments, away from fighting, away from quarreling. It gives us that self-discipline that we should really be practicing all the time. But we all need to something to give us that push. And Ramadan comes each year to make us, give us a fresh start again and remind us of what we should be doing, give us that extra push that we need. Those who never experience hunger cannot perfectly realize the hunger and hardship that the poor go through, which is true. We get wrapped up in our lives and we get wrapped up in the luxury that we live in, and we forget about other people and what they have to suffer. People who have to walk 3 hours a day or 6, in one way to get water and 3 hours to get back again just to fill up a tank of water. They have these big plastic tubs. They have to go and walk all these distances. We don't really think of them. We don't think of people who are dying of hunger, and there are people dying of hunger every single day throughout the world. So fasting helps us to remember all of those people and what they're going through. Prophet said that we, in regards to dunya issues, we shouldn't look at those above us, we should look at those beneath us. So instead of saying, oh, I wish I was like him, I wish I had that car, I wish I lived in that house, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, we should look at those who have less than us. So we appreciate the blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us. The last one they were saying here that fasting is like a diet, when we're not fasting, we might be eating and drinking all day, and this sort of gives us a chance to get our system to relax a bit and stop thinking of, give our digestive system a break. I just want to add a couple of things. When we fast, we are sort of telling our body to, we're quieting it down. Our body, we've talked about this before. How do we feed our body? We feed it with eating and drinking and all the fun activities that we want to do and hobbies and whatever. But we always listen to our bodies and we forget to listen to our soul. Our soul's food is connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we fast, we're giving our bodies a chance to, okay, I'm not listening to you right now. I need to listen to my soul. My soul is hungry. It needs to get back to Allah. It needs to talk to Allah. So we're giving ourselves a chance. That's why a lot of us, while we're fasting, we feel lighter. We feel easier to get closer to Allah Ta'ala, easier to feel a connection with Allah when we're praying. It has a beautiful effect on us. Last thing, with the situation that we're going in now, I think it's a wake-up call for all of us. Let's hope that we are able to go to the mosques and pray Taraweeh and enjoy our Ramadan. Let's hope that we're not deprived of that. Let's make dua. And also, being in this isolation, not leaving the house and all that, yes, it's very difficult and has a lot of negative impacts, but let's look at the other side. We don't have much distraction right now. We don't have many things to do. We're not going out and about. Let's use this time to get ourselves ready for Ramadan, to make this Ramadan the best Ramadan ever. And don't forget, Ramadan is a time of miracles, when miracles come true, when our du'as are accepted and Allah showers us with His mercy and the doors of heaven are open, the doors of the hellfire are closed. So, inshallah, maybe we're going through a hard time now, but inshallah, Ramadan is coming soon. Hopefully it will be a month of salvation, a month of answered du'as. But we need to get ourselves ready. Allah is not going to give us this beautiful feelings that we can have in Ramadan and this beautiful connection with Him unless we start to, we do make the effort. How do we get ourselves ready? Whatever sins. All right, guys, so last bit, inshallah. Whatever sins we're doing now, we should stop, stay away from, reflect on what we've been doing. Whatever we're not doing that we should be doing, like praying, we're at home with our families, helping our families, being kind to our families, we're brothers, sisters, parents. Be reflective of what you're watching, what you're doing on social media. Try and make this time the time to get back to hospital. We only have maybe around a month and a few days left, a month and 2 days, something like that. So let's get ready. Inshallah, I'll be posting the homework that you have a week to complete. Also, I'll be putting a link to a video that you can watch. Stay safe, make dua, and inshallah, we'll see you again soon. Jazakumullah khair. And